Welcome, dear friends, to Unity South Twin Cities. And let's use the power of our mind to draw all our friends from the rotunda into the sanctuary. Hello. Oh, well. I'm glad everybody's having such a good time visiting. So I welcome you to Unity South for the last Sunday of June. Can you believe it? And before I forget to mention it, I am going on a working vacation for the next 2 weeks, so I will see you on July 18th. July will be half over by the time I return from the Chautauqua Institution in New York State. I've been invited for the 12th time to come spend a week with the Unity group there, doing service, teaching classes, and leading meditations. And it's a wonderful environment of about 100,000 people who come to Chautauqua each summer for the 9-week season. I only get to be there for 1 week, but that is a blessed opportunity to interact with many different Christian denominations as well as people from other faiths. There's a large Center for Jewish Life and also programming for the Islamic tradition. And so it's quite an exciting group of people, as well as lecturers, symphony, opera, drama, arts of all kind. So it will be an inspiring week for me. I will miss you, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. For our friends watching on Facebook Live, I invite you to press that share button. It really makes a difference because we watch the statistics and see when you hit share and send this service out to your network of friends. I also invite you to enter into the chat stream your name and location and anything else you'd like to share with us because we are watching those messages that you send. Also, I welcome those who are watching directly on YouTube. For those in the sanctuary, I've seen a few phones this morning, so I invite you to turn those phones off so we have a nice quiet environment. I am Reverend Stacey. My service assistant today and for the last time this month is Carlotta Posz. So we thank you, Carlotta, for helping us through this month of June. Judy Moen is our featured musician today. She's doing it all. And I'm grateful to our tech team of Patty Tangi on computer and Don Ramler on sound this morning. So, now that we've settled in, acknowledged one another, I invite you to join with me in a time of prayer, of setting our focus and intention on this hour we will share. Let us pray. Almighty Spirit, infinite mind and eternal heart, we now acknowledge your presence and your nature of everlasting benevolence. You brought us into existence through limitless love and sustain us every moment through perfect wisdom and creative substance. We praise the wonder of your works. You have made the human family and empowered it with spiritual gifts. May our inspired actions create a compassionate society worthy of your works and radiant with your glory. We praise the wonders of your worlds. You have made all good things with precise care and infinite creativity. We live in the midst of amazing realms of life. We grow mindful and attentive of these realms of earth, plant, animal, and the spiritual beings who strive for us and with us. We praise the wonder of your ways. As we follow the pathways to life, we will attend to those who stumble and gratefully receive the assisting hands as we ourselves sometimes wander off course. In our mutual respect, neighbor to neighbor, let us affirm together our statement of being. There is but one presence and one power in my life, in this church, and in the universe, God the omnipotent good. And we say, Amen. I invite those here in the sanctuary and those online now to join as we sing Surely the Presence. Pleasure and delight to invite Carlotta to the platform.
Good morning. I welcome you to Unity South Twin Cities, whether you are watching online or seated in the sanctuary. We welcome visitors joining in person or online for the first time. Let us greet them by affirming together, we welcome you, we bless you, and we're glad you're here. For our joyous gathering today, let us hold this thought. I behold the Christ in you. Let's speak it together. I behold the Christ in you. Throughout the week, remember your Unity South community and hold a silent blessing for each one who calls Unity South home. We acknowledge the global human family and the diversity of religious experiences. Let us give thanks for seekers everywhere who turn their attention Godward, as we give thanks for the one Spirit abiding in us all. We offer this blessing for everyone as we speak Namaste, which means the sacred in me greets the sacred in you. Now, returning our focus to our ministry, we join in the Unity South centering statement with focused thought and warmth of feeling. Centered in God, assured by faith, and prospered by divine love, we boldly move forward to serve humanity by building our lives and Unity South Church together. Join us next Sunday, July 4th, as Reverend Lori Brandt presents her lesson, Free and Unlimited. A favorite Unity song declares, I am free, I am unlimited. But is it true? Consider the example of Jesus the Christ. He healed the sick, restored life, turned water into wine, and emerged from the tomb after his crucifixion and death. Certainly had a level of freedom and mastery that defies our human comprehension. Yet he admonished his disciples and us, the works that I do, you will also, and greater works than these you will do. Is such a level of freedom possible? How can we attain it? Join us as we explore true freedom and the truth that sets us free. Judy, Moen, and Bill Mann will be our musicians, and Lindy Anderson will be your service assistant. Now let us prepare for a time of community prayer as I read the daily word for today, June 27th. Let go, let God. I do what is mine to do, and I release the rest. I am equipped with powerful spiritual tools to use toward creating the life of my dreams. Through prayer and meditation, visualization, and affirmation, I am willing to work for what I want to see manifested in my life and in the lives of those I care about. Sometimes I can be so focused on what I'm doing that I forget the importance of stepping back from my efforts and releasing my attachments to specific outcomes. There is great peace that comes from knowing I have done all I can do, and then, in perfect peace and clarity, releasing outcomes to the divine that is in all people and circumstances. I heed my guidance to discern when to take action and when to yield to the activity of spirit. From Matthew 6:33. But strive first for the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Let us take a moment to reflect on, let go, let God. I do what is mine to do and release the rest. Amen.
I invite us now to take this opportunity to do our most essential work as we pray together. From the very beginning of our unity tradition until this very day, this is our most significant power. But because prayer is held in the silence, because it's an inner work within us and among us as a community, it may not capture our attention as much as a lot of loud outer activity at the Mall of America or elsewhere. So we have to make an effort to remember the power of prayer, of holding a truth and consciousness for ourselves, for one another, for the world. I like to think of it as planting a seed thought. That's what Myrtle Fillmore called it. And we do respect what we plant in the earth, so let's also respect what we plant in our mind and heart, knowing that it will grow, it will come forth with abundant power and good behind it. So I invite you to become comfortable. Close your eyes if you choose, to allow yourself to be fully aware not only what is within you, but what is in others, and what is within the very center heart of this Unity South community. And so we begin. Father, Mother God, we acknowledge you are always and everywhere present. Always and everywhere present. That means with us this very moment, within this congregation, the community in which we live, our state, nation, and world. Heaven and earth are filled with your glory, your radiance, your power. So why should we be afraid or overly concerned about the events of life? Yes, they demand our attention, often our compassion, our wisdom, and our goodwill. But essentially, we first trust you. The love and the presence of love that moves through your human family, as we keep that forever in our minds and hearts. We trust what you have created, what you sustain. and how you are becoming through us, making this world a place that can truly work for all. This is to know an inner peace and assurance. And we join with our friends at Silent Unity who've prepared this affirmation for us. I am peace at the core of my being. I am peace at the core of my being. Spirit is peace. I am one with the Spirit of peace. Breath by breath, I settle into a peace that instills calm, confidence, and courage. There is nothing to do, nowhere to go in this moment of being, of pure presence. As I know, I am peace. As I rest in the silence of prayer. And let us call to mind all those who have turned to Unity South for prayer support, writing prayer requests, praying with our prayer chaplains. In general, thinking of Unity South as a place where they will be welcomed, loved, encouraged. And so let us think of those individuals now, whatever challenge or even celebration they hold in their life at this time. We stand as witness to their truth. Dear friends, you are God's good creation with spiritual gifts that you can bring forth as you face any challenge on your path, any doubt in your mind, any uneasiness in your heart. The answer is within you, because the presence of God is within you. We support you by knowing that truth consistently, with conviction. You are God's good creation. You have at the very center of your being whatever you need to meet your life with success, to be a blessing to others and to the world at large as you do what is yours to do. To know this truth is to know gratitude in living as a community and a great world family. Let us now lift our time of prayer to its highest realization as we hold the Lord's Prayer, the thoughts, the pattern of prayer that Jesus taught his disciples and teaches us still as we are silent and willing to listen. So I invite you to speak or sing with me this perfect prayer. And I remind you at this time that our trained Unity South prayer chaplains are always available to personally support you in prayer. Yvette Trotman today will meet you in the garden on the west side of the building. You can just go around the building and join her for a time of powerful blessing and prayer. Take advantage of this resource that we offer. And now, it is my pleasure to say, take it away, Judy.
Well, I was trying to decide what to play today to fit the theme of, how unity is going to go on forever and ever and ever and ever. Right, isn't that what you learned this week? Okay. So then I decided I'd do one of my compositions called Infinity, which will go on and on and on and on and on.
Did Judy inspire you to go to the infinity, that is the limits of your being? And so, as she always does, she sets the ground for my lesson. Because today, I want to review a little bit about what our overall global unity movement is doing, as we recently had a convention in which I participated. But more importantly, for each of us to get a sense of what is my limit? How far can I stretch my mind and my heart to grasp the wonder of what God created in me, in you, in all of us? Many of you know that we have a study group here based in the teachings of Rudolf Steiner, and that I spent a year studying at his school in Switzerland. He created a great statue of what he called the representative of humanity, the Christ. And that statue is making a gesture, and many people who see it sort of wonder, what does that gesture indicate? What does it mean? And this is the gesture. For me, it means the Christ in us, to imagine it, to experience its impulse, its work in us. We have to go to the limits of our being. We have to stretch ourselves. What is my truth? How great are my thoughts? How infinite my heart? How generous my goodwill to others? How far can I go? Well, I want to put your hearts at ease this morning, and although Judy inspired us with her melody, her theme of infinity, it won't be necessary for my lesson to be endless today. We will come to a graceful conclusion. As a teacher of Tai Chi that I knew many years ago would say, now take your gesture to a graceful conclusion. And I'll hope to do that with a lesson. First, from June 14th to the 17th, Unity held its annual June convention online this year. They promise us next year we will be able to join together in person in Kansas City, but this year it was necessary to do everything by the wonder of technology. And it was an interesting process because it's only through these virtual gatherings that we get the idea of the good work we can still do, even if we aren't physically present. Unity was actually ahead of the curve more than a century ago, because you see, the work we call silent unity meant just that. Creating a unity, becoming aware of a unity in the silence. And they asked people all over the United States and abroad to hold a thought wherever they were at a specific time, their local time, and to know that they were joining with others. More than a century ago, Unity was teaching the power of a virtual gathering. A virtual gathering, coming together in mind, even when we couldn't be together in physical presence. So Unity already had that idea. But now, our churches all over the country are adopting technology. First, for many of us, like our church, with the help of our good volunteers, and with financial assistance from Unity Worldwide Ministries, we were able to develop our audiovisual system and our online streaming so that when the government required our church to be physically closed, we could still gather. Maybe it wasn't exactly how we wanted to do it. I notice how much some of you enjoyed one another's company this morning down in the rotunda, and those good old hugs and so forth. But that's not always possible. But we can still come together virtually in mind, in prayer. So that's how our convention was held. And I thought I would just touch, not in detail, but just some of the highlights of what our Unity churches and centers around the United States and in a number of foreign countries, what's going on? What the main points and interests are at this time. The Unity movement is always trying to reinvent itself, to recreate itself for a new generation, a new time. And they are once again strategizing. How do we get the Unity message of power, of connection, of working together, of possibility within us individually, within our communities, within our world? How do we help people to really get that idea, at least in the way that we offer it in Unity? And so our Unity Worldwide Ministries, well, let's back up a minute. Some of you that are newer may not know our structure as a Unity family. I once served many years ago a Unity church, and I was quite surprised after I had been there just a few months. I became aware that people in the congregation thought they were the only Unity church. They had no idea that we are a great family of hundreds of churches, also in many foreign countries. Well, I knew that so well, at least I thought I did, that I was shocked to find some people that thought they were a church in isolation. They had no connection beyond their own walls. And so that became an important point for me to try to convey to a congregation how great, how expansive is our family. So yes, we are organized as a self-sustaining legal entity called Unity South, Twin Cities. But we belong to a greater family. The region in which we are placed in this country is called Great Lakes Unity. Now imagine this, it stretches from Minnesota and Iowa through the Great Lakes all the way east to Ohio and as far south as St. Louis and Louisville. So it's a huge section of the country. Lots of churches in Michigan. So it's a big family. So that's our region. Now, we are part of Unity Worldwide Ministries, the organization that holds together like a family all of the churches in the world, somewhere around 700 in this country and in Europe, in Central America, South America. And one place where we have a lot of centers, which is quite interesting, is the country of Nigeria. As a matter of fact, we have a new student entering Unity ministerial training from Nigeria right now. So this whole family, this church, we are a part of. And we have to make an effort to remember how big our family is, how we can work together cooperatively, and how we can receive help. Patty Tangi was the one that prepared our grant application, which is funded by the Templeton Foundation, a great individual who appreciated as a young man what he learned from Unity, and therefore he blesses our movement with funded grants, one of which helped us with our audiovisual system. So thank you to the Templeton Foundation, and thank you, Patty, for putting together that grant application that was successful. So we are part of this bigger family. And when we look around in this room, sometimes we might think, well, this is all there is to Unity South. You're all quite charming, but still, this is all there is to Unity South. But it isn't. We're connected to this bigger family. Through our prayer work and prayer consciousness and our prayer chaplains, we're connected to the greatest department of unity, Silent Unity, who prays and supports millions of people through phone calls, letters, and online prayer requests, 24/7, every day of the year, for now almost 130 years. An ongoing prayer that has never ceased in all those years. I like to remind myself when I pray with the daily word or pray with Silent Unity or turn to them for prayer support, that their ongoing prayer was active in the busy 1990s, in those amazing 1960s. Yes, I was alive then. Not all of you were. In the 50s, during World War II, during the Great Depression, during the Roaring 20s, during World War I, at the beginning of the 20th century, and a few years before that, Silent Unity and its staff was holding prayer, supporting others, supporting our centers around the country. That's a great power. There is great power over time. And when something is consistent, think about your own body. There is great power you derive from your heart that beats. It doesn't decide, well, it's Tuesday, I'm going to take the day off. Or, I don't know, I'm a little tired this morning. I'm not going to beat in James's heart. No, it's consistent. It keeps going. And there is power in that consistency. Back to our convention, there was great interest. I participated in a workshop of about representatives of about 130 churches, a workshop on developing hybrid church. If you're not familiar, hybrid is this new word for both in-person service, worship, and people joining us online through the wonders of technology. That is hybrid ministry. And so we explored and shared ideas, what we were doing at Unity South, what other churches are doing. We're ahead of the curve in some respects. Many people compliment us and appreciate the quality of our video and sound online. Some other centers are struggling with that. Recently, friends from our Unity Church in Eau Claire asked if they could come here and if Adam could show them the system he designed and how it worked, because they were struggling and they weren't happy with the quality of their online presence. And so we tried to help them. And then we, in turn, receive help or ideas from other ministries around the country that are perhaps a little more advanced in their hybrid experience than we are, and how they are connecting, which I hope we will grow into, with our friends online We know your names and where you are, but we want to get to know you better. We want to be of more assistance to you. We want to share with you information about our church, perhaps a digital gift. That's something we're thinking about, but a way to connect, a way to establish online membership. What would it look like for people who consistently watch our services online, but perhaps they live in Wyoming or Connecticut? Is there a way, if they choose, to become a member of Unity South, even though they may never physically enter this church? But they believe in what we teach, they want to be a part of it, and they want to support it. So could they have a membership? These are just some of the ideas going around in Unity circles of building something beyond our walls, building a greater family for Unity South through technology. Of course, as you can imagine, one of the other points in the convention was ministries helping and sharing ideas. How do we get beyond what we experienced in the pandemic, where some of our activities slowed down almost to a stop? How do we get them rebooted, restarted? How do we rebuild our youth education program as children weren't able to physically come for more than a year to our church? How do we restart that? And so the ministries shared with one another different ideas in different ways that they were working with these issues. A third point, a relatively new one, is the Earth Care program of Unity Worldwide Ministries, a specific program that ministries like ours can enter with a curriculum or procedure to say, in Unity, in our church, we believe in the value of life, and we do not limit that to the human being. We want to honor that life in nature, in the world in which we live. And what does that look like? How could the church encourage its members in recycling, in care of the natural environment, in learning? Now, we've already started. Most of you know that in the past couple of years, we've been able to convert all of our lighting to much more efficient LED lighting. The state helped us with those smart thermostats around the building, where we can more accurately control our energy usage in heating and cooling. I can even control those by my phone at home. So if somebody calls me and says, I'm having a class, Reverend Stacey, it's a little bit cool, by my phone I can change the temperature anywhere in our building. And any other appropriate authority could do that as well. But that's because of the smart technology of those thermostats. And that's just one possibility within the greater Earth Care program. And Unity congregations become certified in completing different stages of the Earth Care program through our parent body of Unity Worldwide Ministries. So if we have enough interest to pursue that, we can gradually become certified as an Earth Care ministry, showing our community and our world that we value the activity of life, not just in ourselves and our family, but in the greater natural world in which we live, in which we are a part of. Unity Worldwide Ministries has hired consultants to help them define a new strategy for our movement that our member ministries are invited to align with rather than required. In the past couple of decades, there have been a number of attempts by Unity Worldwide Ministries to say, okay, if you're a Unity ministry, you're going to do A, B, C, period. Now, being free thinkers in Unity, that was not very popular, and there was a lot of pushback. And so now they've decided to take a new approach and say, collectively, in Unity, we believe A, B, and C is important, and we invite every member ministry to freely align with that. Not required, but freely choose to come into alignment in that. It's somewhat related to the branding program. Some of you remember that a number of years ago, and that's actually how Unity South, which is our legal name, always has been, became Unity South Twin Cities, because the branding program from Unity headquarters said, take Unity, now add a locator, so people in the world know where you are. Our friends in Golden Valley, Christchurch became Unity Minneapolis. We became Unity Twin Cities, which I'm very proud of those of you that made that possible, because I think it was very smart. We could have been Unity Bloomington, but Twin Cities situated us in a much greater area of the Twin Cities, instead of limiting, oh, that's just the church in Bloomington, even though Bloomington's wonderful, but giving us a bigger sense of our presence. So I thank some of you in this very room that worked on that project and were smart enough and creative enough to give us that locator of Twin Cities. Now, I would be happy in the coming weeks to answer, to my ability, any questions any of you want to bring to me individually about what's going on in the greater Unity movement, or perhaps ideas or concerns that you would want me to relay to Unity Worldwide Ministries. But we don't have enough time for that today. And I want us to do something, I believe, of significance. Your board of directors and me met Friday night and all day Saturday. I'm pleased some of you are here this morning, some of the board members, because I wouldn't blame you if you needed to sleep in the rest of the weekend. We did a lot of work visualizing what is Unity South? What can we do better? What do we need to adjust? What are good ideas that we haven't even attempted yet? How do we broaden our reach? How do we draw more people into our family? Many such ideas, and we worked on visioning and creating beautifully crafted, I wish I could claim credit, but I can't, beautifully crafted statements about different aspects of our ministry, so that all of you would be able to align with these clear statements of what we're about. And of course, we can always build on them further. But what I want to do now for our time of meditation is to turn within, because each one of you that call Unity South home have a role to play. You can make a difference. I was so grateful our daily word today had that wonderful, clear affirmation. I do what is mine to do, and I release the rest. Because as your board well knows, they and our volunteers, even me, Can't do it all. So helping us all to see what is our gift to share, what is our role or our part to play in this Unity South community, and then the ability to let go of things that other people can do better than we ourselves, to give more people in our Unity South family an opportunity to step up and give their gift. So let's begin. I invite you to close your eyes if you choose as we turn within and take a little visioning journey. Visioning goes back to the very essence and beginning of our unity movement. The third of our 5 principles says, thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Charles Fillmore said, all things begin in mind. You hold an idea as a seed thought. It begins to grow within you until you take action in the outer world to bring that idea, that truth, into form and expression to benefit your life and others. Thoreau said it beautifully, encouraging you to walk confidently in the direction of your dreams. Charles Fillmore advised his listeners, if you want more peace, greater prosperity, greater vitality in your life, then do the things that make for peace, prosperity, vitality. Catch your dream and walk consistently toward it. The great teacher, very popular in Unity, Emmett Fox, taught that you first create a mental equivalent in mind before the outcome can express. You see it inwardly and let it grow. And because I like Broadway lyrics, I couldn't help but think of South Pacific. Talk about the things you'd like to do, you gotta have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how are you gonna have a dream come true? So we're gonna catch that. In our Unity teachings, a powerful creative tool for visioning is contained in the 12-power model. Again, earlier members of our church blessed us with these windows as a constant reminder of the 12 powers. So today, in this meditation, I invite you to choose from this palette of powers just 3: faith, imagination, and order. We begin by faith. Are we convinced that ideas, dreams, visions have a power of growth? That if we hold them consistently in mind, warm them with our feeling, that they will produce. We hold that truth by faith. By imagination, we can see in the mind's eye how ideas can take form, shape, color. How can they express the creative power of your mind? And by the power of divine order, we see the progressive, strategic development of these ideas. First, there's a seed, and then the growth of the plant, and then the bloom. The crowning glory of the plant comes, and then it turns to seed, so that the whole cycle of plant life can begin again. So with this in mind, I invite you, think of one, not a lot, one dream you have for this ministry. What is something that really speaks to you that you would like to see develop in a greater way at Unity South? Perhaps our youth education, expansion of music, social events, connection of one another through support groups. Many options. Choose one. Hold it in your mind. Do you believe in the creative power that can bring this cherished idea in mind into expression? Now elaborate a little bit. What would that idea look like? How might it show up and actually happen here at Unity South? Put some flesh on the bones. Give it some color. Sculpt it in your mind. And now the important step. What small, sweet step can you take in the direction of that dream? What is yours to do? And leave the rest to others. Get an idea. How could you help that idea you're holding? Help move it forward for the benefit of all of Unity South. And now I invite you, give your own inner statement of gratitude to God that you can work with the creative process underlying this world. You can make a difference. You can share your gift here in this community. You are a creative agent of change and growth. So I invite you to allow your attention to gradually return, opening your eyes as you're ready, and reminding yourself, all our good farmers in Minnesota know this. You don't just plant the seed and walk away. You maintain it. You care for it. So this idea that you've grasped, this little step you can take toward the expression of that idea, I encourage you, continue to work with it. Hold it in your prayer time and be ready to do what is yours to do in this ministry and trust the rest to others. So I thank you for this creative time that you have shared, and now we're going to gracefully bring it to conclusion with the art of Judy Moen.
Well, keep thinking and focusing, because we're going to create a song with the letters Unity. And when you translate it onto the piano, it would be 3, 5, 9, 2, 7. So that's the main theme, and we'll put it into any kind of music that you focus at me. Look, is that me? Okay, does that sound like unitic there? Calling all unity? All right, here we go.
The amazing Judy Moen. All right, it's time to bless our gifts. Please take your gifts in your hands or hold your online giving receipt or hold in mind your financial commitment to Unity South. And together, let this be our sacred exchange with God. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all the good that I am and have, all the good that I give and receive, and I am grateful. And now some parting words from Reverend James.
Well, first I want to thank Judy. She gave such a great lesson of what I was attempting in the meditation, in that she took an idea and then musically she explored all the ways that it could be expressed. That's what we do, with an idea in mind, and then we give it creative expression. Now, I know you. You all are already doing that. I'm just encouraging us, including me, to find new ways to shape those ideas that are living, significant, and of value in our lives and in our ministry at Unity South. So your little homework assignment is to start small. Start focused. Take one aspect of that idea and say, what is one step I can take toward bringing that idea into greater expression for the good of my church, my community, ultimately for the world, remembering that we each make a difference, but we make that difference when we're willing to try, to take a step and action toward our dream. So, I invite you to stand as we close our service with that prayer we know so well, but it's in our consistent use and holding of that prayer that it becomes grounded in our being. So we say, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you, my friends, for joining us, and thanks for all those online who added to the consciousness and good of this service.